Will you lose one trade? Of course. Would you lose two trades in a row? Of course. Would you have a losing day? Of course. 2 days? Of course. So when I lose, I just know that it was a certainty and that just I have to move on. Because in the past, I would just go until I blow my account. But that was a long, long time ago. The downside is way more crucial, because when the downside is taken care of, the upside usually takes care of itself.
All right, welcome back everyone to the 5ers YouTube channel. Today we're going to do another trader interview with Koussay, who is a trader from Morocco, a high stakes trader with a 100k high stakes account, and he has now scaled it to 125k. Welcome, Koussay, and thank you for doing the interview. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me here.
Telling the audience a little bit about yourself and how you got into trading.
Well, my very first contact with this industry was through the crypto market in 2021, in the end of the year. Basically, back then, it was the end of the bull market. So basically, the strategy was buy and hope. Of course, it did not work for the long term. So yeah, fast forward 4 to 5 months, I would believe. I have back by then lost all of the funds that I have. I don't want to use the word invested. It was gambled to stay true. So fast forward, I was still in love with the crypto market. I knew that there was potential there. Maybe my timing was wrong. Maybe I was not experienced enough. At that time, the DCA strategy became very popular. So I thought maybe I would DCA into Bitcoin and wait for the next bull market. But I did not have enough funds to invest into the crypto market. So I decided that maybe I would do that thing that everyone was warning us against, which was day trading. So I thought that I would day trade Bitcoin, then invest any kind of profits back into Bitcoin, spot Bitcoin, to hold it for forever. Not forever, of course, but anyway. So I started learning about day trading, and I believe that I was very lucky because I stumbled upon a playlist by a dude on YouTube who was using just a pen and a piece of paper to explain everything about risk management, about position sizing, about risk to reward, and all the math of profitable trading, actually, what makes trading potentially profitable. So from there, I went to YouTube to educate myself on day trading. Of course, the YouTube algorithm took me out of the crypto market, took me far beyond. There was Forex. I mean, it was a candy store. I downloaded TradingView, and during that very same period, there was this industry that was popping out, which was prop firms. Found out about that, understood that there is no need for crypto. Only trading with prop firms would work to maybe build capital for a personal account or something which can be consistent.
Yeah, definitely. I like how you started with crypto at the very top, and your strategy was buy and hope.
Buy and hope.
So you kind of like trial by fire. I mean, it's the same with me. I started with crypto in 2017, rode the whole bull market, and then rode it all the way back. That's the best way to start. Just to start with losing money to really know what it's all about. So you started with crypto, and then you started with the education, trying to educate yourself on YouTube, and then slowly but surely made your way into the forex market. So when did you start trading with prop firms and with the 5ers?
Well, I've never traded forex, actually. It has always been indices. So there has been in July 2022, there has been like a very major fork in the road, I would say. And that was when I was watching a video on YouTube. It was kind of a debate between whether algorithmic trading exists, whether it is worth it to learn to program while learning to trade. And I deducted that, yes, maybe I should go that route. So I remember the whole summer 2022, it was just about learning to find script on TradingView. So yeah, that was, I would say, a very important station in the whole journey. I was trading back then.
So you're not manually trading, are you? You're trading with you've developed some algorithms, have you?
No, I manually trade, but that gave me the advantage to create custom indicators that I would show later on.
Right. Yeah, I would love to see some of those indicators. So you're using the indicators to help with your.
Yeah, but nothing fancy. It's simple.
It's like it says on your T-shirt, less is more, right?
Yeah, less is more. and we'll come back to that later maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely.
we traded the Nasdaq for about 6 months. Then I moved to the DAX. That's where I traded the DAX for 2 months, I would say. My strategy back then was the opening range breakout, which has mutated later, of course, because we never end up where we've started. So I bought my first account after, I think it was in December or January. It was a 50K FTM account. Passed the first phase, blown the second. After that, it was multiple 5K accounts with my Forex fund.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Yeah, but it was I ended up break even with them, which was good. But during that time, this is where I've got pressured, where I've got challenged with finding that silver alignment that would give me consistency. So I moved from opening range breakout to the first hour breakout. And after finding out about ICT, it became the overnight range. It was from midnight Berlin time to 9 a.m. Berlin time also. And then I've added extensions, fib extensions to those ranges, both to the upside and the downside. And from there, I started noticing some scenarios that would repeat themselves. It would be either a breakout, then a pullback to the midpoint of the range, and then it continues, or a false breakout. So then I've started finding some kind of consistency, a very consistent approach. I've built a lot of experience just to finding out how to say, categorizing those scenarios in a way that would make them ready to be used or something like that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand. You know what? I feel like this is all very interesting because I'm currently trying to develop a opening range breakout strategy on the Nasdaq as well. So I would love for you to perhaps show us your The5ers dashboard if that is possible. To perhaps share. I'm gonna enable screen sharing for you, and then after we've taken a look at the dashboard, we can probably maybe jump into TradingView and look at a couple of trade examples.
Okay, so this is the first phase, second phase. This is the first account that I've scaled up, and this is the last account that is waiting to be approved. Yeah, the bootcamp account, I don't trade it that much.
Do you think we can look at the previous, the latest one before? Oh, this one. Yeah, okay, that looks good. I like that. Consistent, nice equity curve.
Do too. Yeah, here as you can see, this was me being too arrogant. You can see it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can also, I can also feel that, I'm looking at your equity curve, and what I see here as well is someone that is disciplined and able to turn things around.
Yeah, and this is new to me. Before, as you can imagine it, this slope would have continued downwards to infinity. Well,
yeah,
but now
so that was an important turning point for you.
Yeah. Not only with the 5ers, with another prop firm, I was able to get back from drawdowns, and I have even added a new concept, which is drawdown management and how it should be done. And yeah, so one thing that helped me here was a list of certainties that I've added. It goes like this. Will you lose one trade? Of course. Would you lose 2 trades in a row? Of course. Would you have a losing day? Of course. 2 days? Of course. So when I lose, I just know that it was a certainty, and that I have to move on. Because in the past, I would just go until I blow my account, but that was a long time ago. It's just getting better, actually.
I like that. I mean, just reminding yourself of the fact that you are going to have losing streaks. You're going to have losing days, and that's totally normal. Just come back the next day and follow the process. So I would love to hop into TradingView and maybe look at a couple of trade examples here.
Okay, I will try to walk you through the last week, which has been a very, very special week for the markets.
Oh yeah. And for those of you watching, if you're watching this, later, we're recording this on Monday, April the 7th. This is the market opening after Trump announcing all the tariffs. And some people have called this the Black Monday of 2025.
Yeah, it will be remembered for a long time, I believe. Yeah. So last Monday, I started the week with this. This is the replay function in TradingView. So it looks bearish. This is a pattern that has been described by Linda.
Great trader.
Yeah, great. We need more females in the field.
Yeah, and she's a market wizard as well. Very, very good trader.
Yeah, I believe she was featured in the third. Anyway, so I was looking for maybe a pullback to make the high of the week, then have the fall. I was very bearish because the US markets were bearish, but in Europe we had bearishness. We still did not break key levels. So here goes the day. Just add the German flag to see exactly where I've opened. So here we go. Now I would put my overnight range, which is this one. I believe you can see it.
Yeah.
So here I was on this day was bullish. The idea was that we would close this gap that we made at the weekly opening, but obviously we did not close it. So I went long, lost, managed my risk, and just came back the next day. So I was going long from here, from below the overnight range. So I thought that we would close the gap on that day, but we did not. Here the setup would have been to wait for a pullback to the mid range and then short it. And for the script that I've told you, it's these very small dots. Do you see them?
Yeah.
A red one, an orange one in both sides. Well, this is basically what I call the expected range. So this is the 100%, 68%, 130%. And this helps me to frame the targets. It's really important for me in combination with the extension of the initial range, this range. I do also use the same concept on the hourly, that is to gauge the expansion of the weekly range, which is here. This is from the previous week. Anyway, let's just go
We're
to
looking at
Tuesday.
the DAX. We're looking at the DAX right now. Are you trading only the DAX or are you trading
Only the
other?
DAX, yeah.
Only the DAX,
Only
okay.
the DAX. But I'm planning to take all the variables that I use here, all the stats that I have, all the number crunching that I've done here, and create some kind of a set of data that would be important for me, and then just transpose the same thing on other markets and see how they behave. Maybe they do different things at different times. Maybe they expand it in a different way. But this is the work for the next 3 years.
Yeah, I know a lot of traders that they create a system and then they test that system on other correlated markets as well to look at the robustness of that system, not necessarily to trade other markets, but just to see if the system might be curve fitted or something like that. But I have some questions here on the previous trade that you showed us. You first saw a break of the range to the downside, but then you wanted to buy that. So you did not buy the breakout, no?
That was 2 years ago when I said about the opening range breakout. Now it is, this just became the lens through which I see the market, the lens through which I see how the day evolved depending on sessions. I have like a few scenarios, like breaking up. The breakups does not work all that much. It depends, of course, on the conviction. But usually we get a pullback inside the range, and then we continue. All my beloved setup, which is a false breakout. So I can take anything, and that depends, as I've said before, on the context, on what is happening on the H1. H1, just I apply the same overnight range, but it is the Monday range. On the H1, it's like the H1 within the H4, the M15 within the H1, and with experience, there's some kind of connection that gets built.
Definitely, the fractal nature of price action is definitely something very,
I would say.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it works. That's the way the markets and things work.
That's for me, the markets are just another way, just another expression for the universe. Just another way the universe expresses itself. So Tuesday, again, it was a losing day. I tried to short. Here, as you can see, we have closed the gap. I thought that I would short from there, but again, it was a loss. So it was 2 losing days in a row. It was Monday and Tuesday. So Wednesday was the day when I made up both days and even more. So here it was, as you can see, this is where the market opens. I bought the pullback inside the range right here. So my stop losses were at previous day's high. And I thought to myself that this is a very good entry. Maybe I should keep it. Not maybe I should keep it. My plan from Monday was to get a position for the whole week, because it felt like something was brewing. But I ended up closing the whole position I did not, when it was coming back here, I just closed I've left like the third of the position for the next day, but when it came back, I decided that I would close it and just call it a beautiful day trade.
Oh wow, that's the gap down as well. Wow.
Yeah, have I only kept my position from the previous day, I would have been rewarded very beautifully. But it doesn't mean anything because the gap could have been to the other side. That would, yeah. So there's no point in cherry picking
So you're trading, you don't have like one type of trading. You trade a little bit on feeling as well, a little bit discretionary, or do you have like a specific rule that you need to follow for you to take a trade?
So I try to give the whole process. So I would come with the idea from the H1 or the H4. So let's say in the morning I come, I have a glance on the market. I see 2 to 3 scenarios that might happen. I don't write it down. I used to write them down a year ago, but it caused me to fall in love with one scenario and become too stubborn. So now I try to give them equal weight. Once the day start developing, I would try to feel the vibes that the market is sending. Maybe which scenario is more likely to happen. Would it be like a pullback on intra-week? If it's a pullback intra-week, for me, intraday, that could be an intra-session trade that I could even keep until the London close. So yeah, the entry is less, it's more of an art than a science, but the exits are more of a science actually, because there is a lot of stats between them. It's usually the expansion. Sometimes if it's overexpanded, I would take a pullback or even a reversal. I mean, it is structures. It is structures. As I said before, it's the same principles that I've learned on the M15. I just transposed them to other time frame, and now it's kind of it is still simple.
Yeah, I like how you said the entry is more of an art, and then the exit is more of a science. And I quite like that, the idea that you enter based on price action that you like, and then you let the trade develop, and I like that, being very disciplined in your exits. I think that's super important.
Yeah, thank you. So on this day, this is where we've opened. First, I went long, but I've missed out my entry, so it ended up being a loser. Then I was waiting for the close of the gap, but I have looked for previous crashes, and gaps tend to not be closed. The stronger the momentum, the more likely the gaps will still stay open for a long time. So I decided to take this structure here, the low of the day, rather than the close. Again, it was right here at 108. Rode the movement for the remaining of the day. Again, I thought to myself, let's leave it for the next day. Let's just keep it until the close of the week, but I did not. But it was again an okay day trade. And here, by the way, when I closed this trade, I scaled up the account and was unable to trade. I had no account to trade on for the next day. So have I held the position? As you can see, on Friday, it was just, yeah.
Yeah, you really, those scenarios are difficult to deal with, because it's like, what if I've just held on the trade? But then you said also with the gaps, it can go either direction. So
yeah,
you never know. But this trade, you went short thinking that would be a fake out to the upside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that would not be filled. Yeah, so that's obviously based on your idea that you've looked at the statistics and you looked at, when there's strong momentum, the gaps usually don't fill. So here I'm gonna sell this as a fake out.
Yeah. Also, the time was right, because there's specific times at which extremes occur, the day and high of the day. It's very useful also. And this was the end of, it was 1 hour before the end of the London Open session. And this is the time that usually creates the extreme one. I call it the extreme one and the extreme two, to just avoid, to not depend on the direction of the day.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like the simplicity here of having like a specific time of day. You're trading one asset. I really like that. I'm just curious, have you tried this on the US Open, on the US indices?
Well, yes, but not only tried, but lived by it for a long time. Noticed that give up all of my gains after the two hours of the London Open. I saw that in summer, but kept trading because survivorship bias. Some biases, some trades would work well and they would cloud my vision. But a month ago, I just stopped trading after 11. After here, I think it's 11:30 a.m. Berlin time.
Yeah.
And from then, my win rate just went from 30 to 40%, 42 now, I think.
So you're like following the statistics, you're trying to see what works, and then you're just following what works, and that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So we're running out of time here, and I wanted to just ask you before we kind of wrap this up. First of all, when you got that first payout, let me know what that felt like when you're able to make money by drawing a couple of lines on the chart, pressing the buy and the sell, and you're actually being able to make money on these accounts. And that first time when you actually saw that money hitting your account, what's that feeling like?
That was 2 years ago. It was a 5K account with my Forex fund. It was a $200 payout. The monetary value was very small, but it felt like an accomplishment. Also, it did not serve me well because it has just, how to say, it has fostered not being realistic about expectations. Yeah, but I can tell you that it felt euphoric, I would say, for a few days.
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember my first payout as well. It's like, I can't believe I'm just sitting here in my office, just pressing a couple of buttons, drawing a couple of lines, and I got money in my account. It's quite, it's pretty cool. Before we kind of end here, is there any tips for new traders that want to try getting into the Forex market and maybe try out a system like yours on DAX here? Any tips for new traders?
First, build the machine that would generate the money, the plan. I would say identifying all the moving parts and trying to describe them separately. Not only looking for the upside, the downside is way more crucial, because when the downside is taken care of, the upside usually takes care of itself. Forgetting about the money, even though this is the hardest part, but it is a process. We don't go from trading being all about money to all about being the process. It's a process in itself. We never get to the point where we are the Buddha of trading or something, but it is just a journey that should be taken, and we'll never be perfect. We'll always be making mistakes, but the important part is to make those mistakes less frequently. It's just making lower lows with mistakes, and we cannot go.
Yeah, that's beautiful said. Well, I would like to thank you for doing this interview today, Koussay, and I would love to, I would like to wish you all the best in your future career here at The5ers, and I hope to perhaps do another interview with you once you've scaled your account even more, and you can tell us all about how you developed this system, and maybe try how you're trading on other indices as well.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man, and have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Now make sure you like and subscribe, and most of all, go into the YouTube and check our other content that we provide here at The5ers. We'll see you in the next one.